This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by All-Star Vacation Homes. And if you're looking to plan your next trip to Walt Disney World and you want to stay somewhere, it's going to give you a lot of space, a lot of great amenities, and for a fraction of the price if you try to get those same amenities and space and staying on Disney World property, then an All-Star Vacation Home is perfect for you, whether you're a small family, maybe just a family of 4, or you're traveling with a large group, number of families, some friends, people that invited themselves to the trip. Why not get a lot of space so that way you can get a little separation with everyone and not be on, literally staying on top of each other. So why not check out All-Star Vacation Homes online at www.allstarvacationhomes.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday, November 20th, 2009, and this is episode 646 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for allears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Stop grousing. Just look at these paying customers waiting to get in.
Timekeeper? Surprise in the sky.
Alien Encounter?
Nope, it's a pre-show.
I know it's a pre-show.
Bob Iger?
It's not Muppets. Yeah, really. Nice, Mike. Nice.
Stop grousing. Just look at these paying customers waiting to get in.
It's not Muppets, right?
Right. Wrong park.
Paying customers waiting to get in. Well, that means it's Magic Kingdom or Epcot then, right?
True Bears.
You're right, Len.
Oh, Tiki Room.
Tiki Room. Yeah.
Show.
Robert and Morris, I think it is. Is it Morris or Robert? Sorry.
Joining us on today's show also is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Good evening.
And also joining us on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
Matt, I'm a little concerned, but maybe you can help.
Okay.
You know something about the studios, right?
Maybe.
Rumors.
I've been there once or twice.
So, now that Aerosmith is without a lead singer, what band will be next for Rock and Roller Coaster?
Sammy Hagar. He sweeps in and fixes everything.
To clarify, Steven Tyler is not leaving Aerosmith.
Well, A, I don't think he's actually leaving Aerosmith, but B, the rumor is. Rumor has it. Wouldn't that be a great name for a blog? Or a band?
I'm just saying that Sammy Hagar came in to Van Halen, and then it became David Lee Who? Exactly.
And now it's Sammy Who.
No, I was just trying to figure out when the lightning actually strikes you, is there a chance of it coming through the network, through my microphone to me? But no. I'm thinking, here's the thing, I'm thinking Disney's really only got a couple choices here.
Sammy.
He's not leaving. He announced it. There was a press conference. He's not leaving.
When was the press conference?
Yesterday or the day before.
I heard this morning. That they're still like, anyway.
Well, what station you listening to that's so out of date?
It was Sirius XM. I could be wrong.
Anyway,
moving on.
Anyway, I'm thinking.
Welcome to the show, Len.
I'm thinking Bon Jovi of the Jonas Brothers.
Oh
anyway,
God, no.
Jonas.
What's wrong with Bon Jovi?
Oh, he's awful.
No, not Bon Jovi, Boston Boy.
In 1986, Bon Jovi might have been cool.
Oh, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith's still cool.
Anyway, on today's show.
That does it for today's show. Anyway.
Welcome to Battle of the Bands.
We're going to be talking about getting less for more and getting around it. Certainly, it's no secret that it's become a little more expensive these days to get to Walt Disney World and get some things that we had gotten in the past, and we got to pay a little more. But you know what? That doesn't mean that a successful trip to Walt Disney World is not out of the question. And what we'd like to talk about on today's show is how some of the issues that have cropped up and how we get around them so that it's not impeding, like I said, a successful Disney World trip. So, Scopa, when we talk about this topic, what's one item that's come up that's changed in recent years, that's made it more expensive, but, something that we need to talk about and how we can get around that?
Well, I think that first and foremost, Matt, we have to talk about ticket prices. We have to talk about parking expenses. It's one thing that we know that it costs a little bit more to get there. I don't think that there is that much of an issue with the rooms because of all the discounts and all the promotions. But I think getting into the parks and parking the car and getting into the parks is a big issue. It costs so much more these days for a young family to go to Walt Disney World for a week that there has to be a lot of consideration regarding what kind of tickets to purchase, what kind of options to purchase, and how long to go. So I think that first and foremost is the big issue.
Yeah, I mean, ticket prices are something that just go up every year. I mean, that's just part of the nature, really. I mean, there's nothing protecting against that. But when ticket prices go up, I mean, Len, what do you advise people? Especially people who this is a typical situation where they'll be like, "Hey, Len, I'm going to Walt Disney World, but I'm going in like a year," so you know that ticket price increase is going to hit before then.
Yeah, there are a couple of things you could do. One is if you know that there are traditionally ticket price increases first week of October or August, you could buy them in advance, and typically that saves you, depending on the ticket you're going to get, anywhere from 4 to maybe 10-12%, and that's for a family. That's ticket prices next to transportation are probably the most expensive thing that they have. Maybe even more expensive than lodging, depending on the tickets they get and the length of time that they're staying.
Yeah. Well, let me give you this stats, Len.
Mm-hmm.
A single day park admission to Walt Disney World, no options, today in 2009 is $79.
Mm-hmm.
The same ticket in 2004 was $54.75.
Yeah, so $25.
That's a 44% increase right there in price, which is so obviously it goes up, and it doesn't just go up like a couple dollars. I mean, they raise ticket prices, and that's across the board. That goes annual passes, seasonal passes, 10-day passes. Doesn't matter. You're gonna take a hit somewhere along the line.
Yep, it's true.
So definitely, if you can take the hit now, it's better than waiting till next year.
Yeah.
And take an additional hit.
That's the other thing too is you really need to consider whether park hopping is absolutely necessary for what you want to do.
Right. How important, though? I think the bigger problem. I think people can figure out the park hopping thing. How important, though, do you think is the no expiration option? Because a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on that because they think that it's going to be an issue because they want to buy the 10-day pass and take a couple days back with them, or they're not too sure on it. How does that factor?
Well, here's where all this hiking of the cost of going makes it even more important that you do proper planning, Matt. And then, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm saying that you're dealing with the no expiration adder to the Magic Your Way tickets. It's a very, very expensive proposition. So if you understand that, then you will really take your time and saying to yourself, okay, what are we actually going to do when we get to Orlando? How are we going to tour the parks? And if you plan it right, you won't need that park hopper pass to be, you won't need that park hopper adder to the ticket.
I agree.
Yeah. And I think obviously the longer your trip is, the more likely or the easier it's going to be for you to not have the park hopper option. Wouldn't you agree, Len?
I think so. I agree.
Yeah, because if you're going to be there for a week, you can afford to spend just one day at each park. But if you're there for a weekend, it's kind of hard to justify that, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So, a little bit longer trip would be better.
Okay. You mentioned park tickets, scope. And what was the other option you mentioned?
We talked about the parking and how that adds to the cost. And, of course, if you're staying on the property, that's not an issue.
Yeah, well, that's something to factor into your price. I mean, if you're considering off property, keep in mind you're going to pay, $14-15 to park if you're not staying, assuming you're also not an annual pass holder.
Yep.
Will the DVC members get free parking at the parks?
Yes.
Like, why wouldn't you? Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, so you can just flash your card.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, they don't get valet anymore. So.
Yeah,
No, you get the pass. Like if you were staying at any resort, you get the pass.
No. I meant sorry. I meant if you're staying off property, can you flash your DVC card like I flash my annual pass card?
I usually just flash the AP. I'm not really sure. I never flashed my DVC card for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, AP. That's usually the second go.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say that requires a workaround lately is food prices. If you look at the cost of sit-down meals,
yes,
they have increased quite a bit. I mean, you're looking at anywhere from 10 to 40% increases in certain entrees.
Right.
Yeah, and it's incredible. I mean, I
was going to say, whenever a restaurant closes, inevitably the new restaurant that replaces it always has an more expensive, and the proof in the pudding has to be Tutto Italia.
Yeah.
It went from Alfredo's went from a restaurant that was a little more than moderately priced to a restaurant that is now expensive.
Yeah, and the quality is not there. There's another thing that I'd like to point out, especially this time of year. I believe they started this last year. Aren't there hidden surcharges or holiday surcharges?
Crazy.
Yeah. They've been added that to. I'm not sure. Is it all the restaurants or just the buffets? Or I'm not sure exactly.
Select restaurants.
Yeah,
I
so
get it.
That's something to keep
Keep
your eye open for.
That happens in around Easter, around July 4th, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be around Christmas also. They're going to do that also. And that's so now that we've outlined some of these issues with dining, how do you get around them?
One is not to use as many sit down restaurants. I mean, it's depending. Each park usually has one halfway decent counter service place. Animal Kingdom has a couple. Flame Tree Barbecue is pretty good. I like Yakini's is okay if you know what to get certain things, but Flame Tree is pretty good. Even Pizzafari, not bad. Studios has for quick service. Backlot Express isn't bad. What's your favorite quick service over there, Matt?
I would probably say Backlot Express if I had to go to one place. I mean, ABC Commissary is all right. They just keep on taking stuff off the menu. There's like 3 things now left on it.
The menu's really been limited there lately. And Magic Kingdom, Pecos Bills, Tomorrowland Noodle Station if it's open, or Cosmic Race, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Epcot, obviously, Sunshine Seasons, probably the best one in all 4 parks.
And
some of those things are pretty substantial. You could do a lot with those things. So
yeah, and don't forget also that you can, instead of opting for dinner, opt for lunch.
Exactly. I would go for the latest lunch, and for dinner I would do quick service. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, that's some way. I mean, the lunch menus are going to be typically cheaper than the dinner menus. You're still going to be in the restaurant. Majority of the time, it's similar items on the menu. It's going to be a little different menu, but I mean, you can at least save some money over there. And the other thing is for if you're an annual pass holder or a Florida resident, the Disney Dining or Tables of Wonderland card, it still gives you 20%, and the price hasn't changed. Surprisingly, it's still the same price for the card. So you still get the same discount. And you know what? Every little bit helps, and I know that it's an important aspect for all of us that we all recommend getting because it's a big discount. And obviously now with prices going up, the more you spend, the more you save in terms of the discount that you're going to get on the card. So that's certainly something you're going to want to keep in mind if you're qualified for it.
I love it. I think this. The other thing too is breakfast. I mean, I think we all agree, unless you're actually going for a character breakfast or something really important. Generally, a sit-down breakfast not worth the money.
Yeah, absolutely. I ate at Cuisina's for breakfast with one of my parents.
Well, how'd you think of that? What'd you think of that?
For breakfast?
Yeah, for breakfast. Yeah.
Breakfast didn't do anything. It was a bland.
That's the thing. I mean, it's just so hard to have a great breakfast.
Yeah, the menu just didn't do anything. It wasn't great. No, not for breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, and I hate to say it, but I love a Waffle House breakfast.
Don't be ashamed of that.
No, I'm just saying. But for for $6. I mean, really, a Fiesta omelet, you cannot go wrong with a Fiesta omelet for $6.
And it's tasty, too.
Oh,
I know. And you can't.
Oh, it's so good.
Speaking of which, we have to do our dining reservations for the reunion.
And don't forget, we're having the Waffle House meet at reunion.
That's what I was thinking. We should totally do that.
It's on there.
That's a dinner, right?
Yeah, it's a dinner.
Awesome.
But you can have breakfast for dinner.
You could
right.
technically have breakfast.
I want someone to really order the steak at Waffle House. I really want to know how it is.
I'm going to order the T-bone. I am.
Go for it.
Are you serious?
You know what?
At the Waffle House.
Yeah.
I may buy T-bones for all of us.
Oh. You hear that, Newell? You know what that means?
It's going to taste so good.
Taste a lot better.
Much better. It's be like $7 worth of T-bone.
It's going to be all bone and no tea.
All bone, no tea. That's so as to make a T-shirt.
I think I just heard Danny book his trip after hearing that. Free T-bone. It's worth for him to come down.
That's awesome.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Okay, so other than going to all right, so say go for lunch. The discounts available, and if all else fails, Waffle House will feed you like a king. What are some other things that have come up there in terms of some instances of prices going up?
Well, I think, go ahead, Len.
I was going to say a lot of people, from what I've heard, a couple of things. One is the occupancy or the sales at the things like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and Pirate League are way down. And there really are no substitutes for that. It's just stuff that you skip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can, do your kids. It's not quite the same. It's never going to be the same. But I mean, if your kid's about getting their makeup done and their hair done, you can save yourself a lot of money if you can do it, by yourself.
That's true.
The other thing there's a discount for anyone who's going, in the near future in December. They're actually offering 50% off, which is a really good discount.
50% off. So here's the thing. This is the thing that kills me, right? At 50% off, you're saying whatever we would normally charge you would really be happy with half that.
Yeah.
And they're still making money. It's
and they're still okay, right? It's still okay.
Yeah, well, there's still a profit margin there.
Kills me.
Yeah. Scopa, you were saying?
Well, it's funny. During the year, there are promotions. There are certain events that go on, Food and Wine, Flower and Garden, and things like that. And every once in a while, I know that we all, from time to time, get certain emails from certain portions of Disney. And today I received one that I wanted to mention on the show tonight. Did any of you receive the email about the Waves Discovery Dinner?
No. What is this?
Okay, it's a special dinner that, let's see, let me tell you what's on it. Let me read it to you. The Wave Restaurant is delighted to offer a special series of dining events for the Tables in Wonderland members. The event will celebrate local farming and feature products from Cahaba Farm in Odessa, Florida, which produces an incredible line of micro herbs and greens, blah, 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 okay? Talks about 3 methods of hydroponics, so that sounds pretty good. So here's how the meal goes. Reception, tuna tacos, avocado mousse. They talk about rock shrimp cakes, Florida mango salsa, and it goes on. The appetizer, smoked Peking duck. Anyway, it goes on.
It's a tasting menu, right?
Yeah, salad. Talk about salad, and talks about, you ready for this? This is the entree, slow cooked buffalo strip loin with mild mushroom ragu. So, anyways, my point is that you have a whole bunch of these things. So I'm reading down. It says, okay, I'm thinking, okay, how much is this? Dress code, casual evening attire, blah blah blah. Cocktail 7 p.m. Wait, $92 per person.
Seriously.
Okay. So $92 for a special meal like that. Now, what that meant to me is that it's like some of these things that you're seeing, like the Party for the Senses, a lot of these other things that were pretty unique, and over the years they seemed to be pricey, but now they seem too pricey, and they seem to be outpricing themselves. And I think that what I've seen lately, and I've talked with a cast member recently on the phone about this, is that the special events like the Candlelight Processional Dinner Package and all these other things, they're not filling up fast at all. They're actually slowing down. And earlier today, I think I sent out an email to you guys saying, and Matt, you could probably verify this, that they had the special discounted nights for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party for cast members, and I believe they were only 6 nights, and I believe it was only for November. Well, I heard, I don't have verification on this, but I heard that they may have extended some of those discounted nights for December. And what does that tell me? That tells me that they haven't sold as many Mickey Very Merry Christmas Party tickets as they normally would, and therefore they're opening it up to the cast members and are looking to sell more tickets even at a cast member discount. So I think a lot of that stuff is going on too. I think a lot of people are saying, those unique experiences, they're not as unique as I think they had been because they're just too pricey.
Yeah, well, no, they're unique. I think people just say, I can't afford to swing that. I mean, look at the fact that they, Adventures by Disney, they cut those back, and if you buy one now, you get like a free 3-day cruise, Disney Cruise Line, which of course, we get a whole other show about Disney Cruise Line's problem in filling up their ships. But you're absolutely right, Mike. So
I got a question for Mike though. Why are they only opening those special events to in-house, and why not are they going to extend them to guests?
I don't know, Mike. I think what's going on is they figure that it could be some kind of a historical piece of data that they're going by, that as of the middle of November, if they sell maybe 85% of their Very Merry Christmas tickets by the middle of November. And so by now they've said, okay, maybe we've only sold X amount. Maybe they've sold only 70% of capacity. Maybe normally they sell 97%. So they have said, look, if we don't hit a certain percentage by a certain date, we got to look for another channel. And the other channel would be the cast members who, and in order for you to reach that channel, you're saying, you guys want to, if you want to go to any of the parties, you want to bring your family, here's some more discounted nights. So that's the only thing that I can think of, Mike. I think that there's a metric that hit a nerve, and I think that nerve is making them, forcing them to make a move.
And they do the opposite when times are really good. Like free dining, they ban the cast members from using their discount at the restaurants, the sit-down restaurants during free dining for most of the hours of the day, simply because they want to free up space for guests.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways in that regard. They like to use the cast members as kind of a buoy to keep themselves afloat or let loose.
What about strollers? Strollers
Yeah.
Well, strollers are expensive, but our friends at Orlando Stroller Rental, you can't go wrong going with them. I mean, you'll save a bunch of money.
I believe I mentioned them in the 2010 guide.
They're very good.
Shannon and
Shannon Tanner. She does a great job. So if you're
Those are nice. Yeah.
You'd be crazy to really rent a week of stroller at Disney World. I mean, you'll pay arms and legs for it.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling people.
They deliver it to you. It's definitely good, so definitely check them out.
And you can say the same for the Illuminations cruise, which was somewhat reasonable at one time, and now it's just...
They doubled the price.
Just not now, yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah. Well, things that went from, something to do maybe once a trip to, well, we have a special occasion. You know what I mean?
If that.
Very special
occasion like you won the lottery.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget that this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by All-Star Vacation Homes. And, one thing about All-Star Vacation Homes that it's hard to argue with is the price. I mean, to say what you will about the prices everywhere else, a typical stay at an All-Star Vacation Home, it's going to be a little cheap. It's going to work out for you. They got great deals for you, and it's good. I mean, you got a great house for a fraction of the price of what you'd have to pay to stay somewhere else. I mean, that's what's so great about an All-Star Vacation Home. So why not check them out online at www.allstarvacationhomes.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Orlando Testa, Mike Silva, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hotchberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.